Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. The podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. Today we've got the old school gaggle of good looking men. I'm gonna give a hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks, find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, look us up at Country Air Official on Facebook and Instagram and Country Air Brand on Twitter. And I'll pass it off to the senior official.
Hey, what's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the ref brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Waffle, 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 waffle. How was the breakfast hunt this week, folks?
I had a banana, strawberry, pecan waffle.
That seems very fancy for you.
It had so much stuff on top of it. I had a meal before I got to my waffle. It was incredible. It really was. And I also had a stack of pancakes aside from that with fruit a day before. But yeah, that waffle was something else. Pecans I've never had as a breakfast. So they were nice. I didn't finish all of them, but they were pleasant. It tasted pretty good. But no way could I eat as many as there were.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
Uh, I'm trying to think, but I don't think I had really many breakfasts. Nothing really. I mean, we made tacos tonight. Jack has a little date night, so we made some tacos. But the last 2 days I was like laid up sick, so like I really didn't eat. I just left the whole time. But I should have been eating so I can qualify for this heavyweight tournament we'll talk about later.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's a mistake by you. That's why you had to use the
All
dog.
these missed breakfasts, not making weight.
Yeah, can't be doing that. Uh, I had me a sausage egg sandwich on a croissant. That was very delicious. And uh, yeah, chicken sausage. That was good. Then there's been a lot of PB and J's. As we're in the middle of this move-in, and like I had surgery on Monday, so there was very little eating Sunday. So did not have much, but happy to get back on the food train so I can join y'all in enjoying some breakfasts. But since I can't enjoy breakfasts, I will enjoy that banger of the week from Perch. What do you got?
Banger of the week, man. This one is a good one to enjoy, and it's with the good homies in mind. And anytime we need to fight, keep with it, stay with it. A song like this, a banger like this, will continue to reign free. Heart of a Champion, Nelly.
Okay.
I don't know how old this song is, but every time I hear it, it's like the first time I heard it. I think it was that double
I know
CD
that
that
song.
Yes. One that Zach knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Definitely hit spot. A different era of music, and I loved Nelly. My brother really loved Nelly at the time, so I loved him by proxy because it was cool. And and Heart of a Champion is one where there's rhymes from the song that have just always stuck in my head, whether it's the beat or certain lines from it. Definitely a song that has stuck with me. So it's a banger, and I'll be in St. Louis coming up this weekend, so I'll be rocking some Nelly on the way
Hell yeah.
down for sure. Some St. Lunatics, some Murphy Lee.
Yep. Yep. So Heart of a Champion is 2004.
Oh 04, yeah, 03 would have been my guess. So oh
Yep.
04, yep, and that was probably towards the later end of the Nelly days.
Yep.
He rocked the Super Bowl in like 01, I think, 02.
Yeah, something
So
like that.
so he was on top of the world already by that
Yeah.
time. Incredible.
Yeah, that's
Bangers.
thinking 02. Thinking 02. It's like 02, 03 in that range. But yeah, dang, 20 years ago. It's been a
20 years. Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
20 years ago. And they were, is this the one that has, I think this is also that time where we get over and over.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the other part of the CD. It was
Yeah,
the
sweat and suit.
Sweat and Suit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was on the suit side of
Yeah.
of the CDs.
Wait,
Man, CD players and boom boxes were still rocking at that time.
hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's like
Oh,
sometimes I wish I still had one. I still got a
hmm.
bunch of CDs. But thank you for that banger. Why don't we talk about what did we watch over this last week? I can go first. I have not watched much. It's just been getting ready for that surgery. Watching some Dynamite right now. It's been a pretty good episode so far. That 6-man tag earlier was great. FTR and Eddie versus Blackpool Combat. Nick Wayne and Orange Cassidy, super fun. But yeah, I'm just now trying to get back into a rhythm of watching stuff. So super excited. What have you been watching, Perch?
Yeah, those couple of matches were so good. Nick Wayne putting it on, seeing him with that character, a little bit of heel and allowing time to settle. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Uh, I got to work with him pretty recently, and to see him in the GCW pace, and then to see the contrast on TV, I'm able to learn even at a deeper level of understanding by watching. It was incredible. Uh, yeah, fun to notice the similar differences, similarities and differences between a match and what stands out. And yeah, it's very, very cool right before your eyes and allowing time to breathe and letting that crowd come in and giving them a reason. And everything you do leads up to a certain point because you do something else. Um, yeah, I love watching it. That 6-man match was incredible. Watching Moxley and Claudio taking on FTR last week in a time limit draw. Holy smokes, that was great. I thought this one was going to end in a time limit draw too.
So did I.
Um, or it just a sprawl out of control, people all over the arena. But we had Eddie and Danielson in there, which tells a great story within a story.
Yep.
Uh,
Danielson just likes fucking with Eddie. I don't think he actually has anything against Eddie. He just likes fucking with Eddie for Eddie's reaction to it.
oh, and I love it. I think that's great. And Danielson is had the upper hand, but Eddie beat him. So you know that it doesn't sit well, and Danielson wanted to get back the win. So him being able to choke out Eddie here, kind of gets his revenge. So yeah, I love it. Those 6 wrestlers, the way they paused it, even when they were on the outside of the ring, when I think it was Dax, no, not Dax, Cash was on the outside and he was down, and Paul Turner's there, and everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa, man's down," and they're still pushing each other a little bit, but they had the decency to at least get back into the ring, and Eddie helped his teammate up and had the honor to throw his own guy back into the ring, into the fight to get his ass kicked. But the way it sprawled out, it was so natural, and it was teams just beating the hell out of each other because that's what they're destined to do. I like those kind of feuds, and those are some great matches. Really enjoyed. Oh yeah, and seeing Gallows and Anderson on NXT yesterday, so cool. My God, seeing they're larger than life,
Yeah.
especially in that arena.
Yeah.
Very fun match, and see their finish. Is it the Magic Killer? Um, yeah, it's just great. Looked beautiful. Really enjoyed seeing them spark some life. And Sean Spears came back too with a big chair shot.
Yeah.
Bam!
Yeah.
And whoa, it's him. And Roxanne Perez still has the attitude. Um, I love it. Some good wrestling all around going on.
So, yeah, NXT is
Oh,
they're trying
and The
to
Rock
inject
is
them.
back. Holy smokes!
Yep.
And The Rock is back. I mean, is there anything better? And him going at it with Cody and just rocking, addressing the crowd the other week. Um, yeah, he knows how to rock it. And brings me back to Rocket 02, 03 when he came back, and the crowd was like, boo.
Yep.
Like, all right, well, let's roll with it. Really enjoy, and I'm intrigued to see where it all goes.
I am always a fan of people being nostalgic for The Rock because that means people will post The Rock and Hurricane Helms clips, which were always good. So I get to win. Like, so not the biggest. Like, respect The Rock. Was never a huge Rock fan. Shane Helms, my favorite wrestler of all time. Anytime he can get some love and respect, I'm all for it.
I was thinking about it today, especially with Sting being getting to his retirement, and I love the Jacksons uh, eh, promos so far tonight on AEW, especially with Eddie with the showing up in Tim's. Maybe we
Dude,
should
yeah,
put a dress
dress
code.
code in this.
I love it. They're just doing some fun stuff as if like
And
they're
Renee with
now
the
they're the
get you some
boss
Versace
character.
Timbs.
They can do it so well. Um, but thinking about Sting, growing up, it seemed like the big people that a lot of fans gravitated towards either Goldberg or Sting or Stone Cold or The Rock. Like those were four polarizing characters. And I remember of those four, I was definitely a Rock fan, and I loved the brash talking, and and to see him still in it today is incredible.
Crow's thing is always going to be one of my favorites. They just really actually released the first images of Skarsgård's the Crow character today. So yeah, at that time I was definitely more of a Sting fan, but still, like I love my mid card guys. At this time, yep, we got Shane Helms and 3 count around that time, so big fan of that too. Zach, what have you been watching? If you've been watching anything, I know you've been laid up.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, I did watch the Elimination Chamber. I know Doc watched it. He might have forgot it happened this week.
Oh, I did forget that it happened this week. I thought it was last week.
Yep, wrestling's weird. It's weird how like you'll be like, man, I don't know what week I'm on, but yeah, Elimination. My only complaint, and I don't know if I'm like the only one, but I miss back in the day, like when pay-per-views felt like pay-per-views and there was more than 4 matches. Like
Uh,
I know like they get more time and all that, and I understand it, but like I was listening to like a podcast and it might have been Bully Ray or I don't know who said it, but like someone was saying they missed back in the day when the pay-per-view when the match was meant when the gimmick match was meant for the story instead of the match being for the pay-per-view.
okay.
And I get it. I like the fact that the eliminations like kind of a second chance thing, so it kind of works. But I just felt like, man, just like two elimination chambers, a tag match, and the women's title match. Like, I just feel like there could have been more, even if you give Bronson Reed a one match just to give him something.
Oh well, he
I
came
know
out and
that.
said he was having a baby. That's why he didn't go.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, no, he came out. He came out like the other day and was like, "Hey, yes, the original plan was for me to go, but unexpectedly, the baby was coming, so I couldn't make it."
Oh, for sure. Well, I get that, but I don't know. I just miss back when the pay-per-views had a few more matches to diversify it. I mean,
I feel
overall,
that.
the matches were good. I mean, it was fun. Logan Paul was really good. Good to see him. He's having a feud with Orton. He's always had like top name guys, so it's cool to see what him and Randy will do. Um, I watched Raw, a little bit, mostly for Regeneration X.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm really hoping they come out with like start breaking it down and all that. And then I've watched what else? Nothing really. Like like been sick, so laying around and just watching regular crap TV. Watched a lot of Fairly Odd Parents while I was sick. Fairly Odd Parents was hidden. Paramount, Nickelodeon, Jimmy Neutron,
Yep. No, love
all
me some
old
Fairly
bangers.
Odd. Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents, one of my favorite cartoons. All right then. Instead of what we watched, why don't we talk about what we did? And I'll go first again just to get it out of the way. I finally have moved into my new place. We are very excited. There's still a bunch of construction going on. The dogs are sad because they can't roam free, but hey, we are here. We are home, and that feels awesome. And then Monday, I finally had my ACL surgery. Yep,
Ooh.
one step closer to being back. Um, doesn't hurt too bad. Got still a little bloody, which they said is normal for like the first 3 days. Um, is slightly annoying because it's just hard to get around, and the dogs are worried, so they're always underfoot. But I'm just happy to be done with it. Let's keep it moving. Let's get to the next step. Let's get me back in that ring. Uh,
Hell yeah.
Zach, what did you do this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend, Friday, I rode up with Wah and CJ up to AAW. We met Perch there. We helped with the setup, got to watch the 20th anniversary show. Was not on the show, but you get to hang out, get to talk to people, still get to pick minds and all that. Always great seeing Tyler, Trent. They always make you feel so welcome. Danny was busy, but nice seeing him. Got to see a lot of the St. Louis crew. ATM was in the building, new guys, the O'Neills. Yeah, it was like super fun day, like just cool to talk to all them. The new guys really want to get their ass kicked by us, so
I'm doing my
you know,
best to
stay,
oblige them. I'm doing my best.
yeah, stay here and get your ass whipped, or you can stay here and get your ass whipped, or
Yeah.
stay here and get your ass whipped. But yeah, after that, I went out to 0-1 the next day. Got there and they took on Benjamin Trust. It was a really good match. Super love being at 0-1. Like anytime you go through the curtain at 0-1, you realize like hard work pays off because that crowd blows up. Of course, everyone always asks about you, but we represented. I had a good match. Almost had the W, but a little bit of an eye gouge and a hair pull doesn't help out. I don't like when people touch my hair.
We don't like when people touch your hair.
No. But then other than that, Sunday I started getting sick. That was like the downfall to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, just laying around being sick.
Well, hopefully you're starting to feel a bit better.
No, I feel good today. Like today, I like went in the office, worked, and like felt good. I don't know what it was. I know Val was a little sick, and Jack had a little bug, but Jack's feeling good. Like his was like a 1 day though. Like he was feeling like crap yesterday and feels like great today.
Kids, they got those powerful immune systems.
Yeah, us old people.
So, all right, and Perch. How was your weekend, brother?
It was a fun weekend. We had 2 nights at the Berwyn Eagles Club. First night was AAW. Second night was Black Label Pro. Fun to be able to represent Chicago, and the Berwyn Eagles Club. At some points, sometimes is my home venue. A lot of shows get done there, and especially this weekend. And it was very fun. Two very different shows, and different vibes in the arenas, and I had an absolute blast. It was a nighttime show for AAW and an afternoon show the next day for BLP. The first match I had at AAW was Koa Laxamana against Rafael Quintero. Fun match. Koa ended up picking up the victory. The next match I had was the Hustle and the Muscle, Rohit Raju and Karam. A couple of good guys to see back in action against the tag champions, Shaft and Russ Jones. And wouldn't you know it, new champions. Karam and Rahid are the new champs. Awesome turn of events at the 20th anniversary. Next match I had was Gary J against Robert Ego Anthony.
Gary fucking J.
Yeah, it was a fun match. It started out with Ego cutting a promo in an awesome purple suit or a purple robe. Looked very comfortable and it was nice. And a scathing promo to the Chicago faithful. And then Gary J, it must have come from the crowd. And it was a blizzard that night. Full blown blizzard. Must have ran around the building, came from the crowd, hopped up on the top turnbuckle. By the time I saw him, he was midair. I called for the bell, and it started with a crossbody. It was perfect and beautiful. Pro
Man,
wrestling at its finest.
nice.
And it ended in a DVD. Started with a crossbody from Gary, ended in a DVD from Ego. Very fun match. The next match I had was Big Beef against Mike Bennett, against Shane Hollister, against Joey Jet Avalon. Yeah, represent from Wisconsin. Good homies from Wisconsin repping. Carl Allen was there too, repping the photos. Big shout out. And Ashley as well. A good Wisconsin representation. And Joey Jet came up short, unfortunately, but for him to be in this match was so cool. It was awesome. Big Beef picked up the victory by the end of it. Wild match, double power bomb. Hollister got power bombed outside of the ring, reminiscent of Dre as security. So then Hollister got power bombed out of the ring, back in the ring, and then a regular power bomb to finish. The final match I had was the main event for the women's title. Champion Sierra against Queen Aminata. Awesome presence, stoic character. Queen Aminata is a ass kicker.
Yep.
She is not there to mess around, and she's phenomenal at doing it. Great wrestler. I've gotten to work with her before, especially Women's Wrestling Army at the Berwyn Eagles Club. I believe she took on Sky in a banger of a match. So it was fun to work with the Queen against Sierra in this match, being a wrestling family with Sierra. And wouldn't you know that it ended, I got knocked out, and then I got thrown out of the ring. I could hardly even tell what was all going on, but I got thrown out of the ring, so I called for the bell. Turned out that it was Sky Blue who threw me out of the ring. Wild.
That dastardly jerk.
Crazy. So I was a little shaken up. I was a little startled. The safest thing I knew to do was to call for the bell and say no contest. Threw it out, mainly because the title stays in Wisconsin. Not saying that's the reason why, but byproduct title stays in Wisconsin. If I got the option.
Yep.
We're gonna say no contest, no clear winner. I'd love to call a winner one way or the other, but
if you leave
wild
with no
chaos,
choice, I'll make sure that title stays in the great state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, just to keep it safe in a to be continued scenario. It's gonna stay safe in Wisconsin.
Yep.
It was for the sanctity of the company. Match is to be continued, whether it's a fatal 4-way or a tag. I don't know what's gonna happen out of it, but fun match and cool to be in there in a Sierra main event. The next day, I had a blast at Black Label Pro. The first match I had was Dex Royal against Bradley Prescott. So fun to be in there with Prescott again. It had been quite some time. I think he's taken a little break from wrestling. Whether it was or wasn't, he said it took him a while, or it had been a while since been in the ring. But it didn't show. He was in good shape. And yeah, it kicked butt. Great match. Dex Royal picked up the victory, though, by the end of it. The next match I had was Levi Everett against Puff. Very fun match. It's a blessing anytime getting to work with Puff. I think back to Puffhausen and the PLP show way back when. I'm sure we talked about it here. Check the archives.
Yeah, it's in there.
where there were so many Hausens in there, and Puffhausen was the one that stole the show for me. So I can't help but think of it as such a kind person. Great dude, good wrestler. Um, yeah, it's a blessing to be in there with Puff. Fun match. Levi picked up the victory though. He's kind of evil. But yeah,
You
feat
can't
of
trust
strength.
the Amish.
Yeah, can't trust him. And the feat of strength was when Puff reached into the churn and picked out some butter, and he put the butter and ate it. And then he went another minute or two with the butter in the mouth. By the end of it, Levi picked up the victory, but that was no defeat for Puff. That
He
was
got his
a
butter.
big moral victory, a feat of strength to continue with that. That was incredible. I couldn't imagine he could breathe all that well with all that butter. It was incredible. My hat was off too. The next match I had was Rico Gonzalez against the Sauce Alex Zane. Very fun matchup. Black Label Pro shows you never know what you're gonna get, and fun matchups are the name of the game. And this was definitely a fun matchup. Seeing Alex Zane do some stuff that I've never seen before inside the ring, and he's in such great shape. Legitimate pro wrestler, so cool. Enrico Gonzalez is one of my favorites for a babyface, good fire. I think he's a bad guy, but he, in my mind, he's a triumphant wrestler, which makes him a good guy.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yep, always good fire and excitement in his matches. So I really enjoy. So to see Rico Gonzalez fight up to Alex Zane and picked up the victory by the end of it was incredible. Very fun story being told. I really enjoyed that match a lot. Next match I had was Sky Blue against Rachel Armstrong. Another good babyface, Rachel Armstrong. She's always fighting mean wrestlers.
Yeah, wrestlers who don't like you, especially the ladies of Black Label Pro.
Mean wrestlers. So yeah, fun to be in there with Rachel and to have a wrestler like Sky. That was a blast. She's a true blue pro wrestler. I love working with her anytime our paths cross. I was a little shaken up the night before. I didn't realize she was in there, but she threw me out of the ring. That's what ended the match. And then at the end of this match, Sky tried to throw me out of the ring again. But I said, no.
I watched the tape. I've studied.
I reversed it, almost took her head off, but threw her out of the ring. And wasn't going to have it. Yeah, it's just fun to be able to work with her. Even when she's mean and and evil, it's an absolute blast to work. It brings me anytime we get to work with the Portage County days, brings me right back to the great days, learning the art of pro wrestling. And then the final match of the night was Kevin Koo defending the BLP Heavyweight Championship against Joey Janela. So much fun to be in there with Joey, especially getting to work with him with GCW more frequent. It's fun to work with him in other environments too. The last time I worked with Joey at the Berwyn Eagles Club was a wild tag team match with Manders and Vance, Jake something. And a garbage can got thrown, and I got sliced on the eyebrow, and blood was coming down. So I brought it up to Joey this time around. He's like, "Oh yeah, the guy who drove me here brought up that story of you." We were laughing, and this time around, I did not get hurt. No bloody eye, no bloody nose. Safe. Joey and Kevin Koo. Kevin is a legitimate champion. The matches he puts in are fights. He's a tag champion at GCW and a singles champion at BLP. He is a hard hitting, intense, good old school pro wrestler. I enjoy Kevin. And he represents a tough champion. To beat him for that title, you're going to have to climb a mountain. And Joey climbed that mountain, but came up just a little bit too short. But that match was incredible. Definitely worth checking out for the amount of uh, strikes that were thrown and chops and uppercuts. Phenomenal match. Great shows. Really enjoyed Fight TV for BLP and High Spots Network for AAW.
Hell yeah. Yep. Yeah, you good weekend of work put in by you. Yeah, I saw some intensity. I saw Perch fighting back against the mean ladies. Um, Zach saw his match, it was very good. I enjoyed it. Benjamin Trust is a dweeb. You can tell him I said that. But yeah, looked like a fun weekend. Why don't we move on to our main topic of the night? I'm sure we have talked about this before. This topic was mainly to see what the two new guys who have been on the show with us, what their opinions were, but they're not here tonight. But whatever, we'll do it again. What is your favorite WrestleMania? Let's go down the line, Zach.
I think my favorite WrestleMania has to be the Mania after Tampa, the Mania after Kova and Tampa, the Sunday night two, just because it was the first ever Mania I've ever been to live. Got to do with the homie, me and Dak. I believe that was your first time live. So just like, wrestling's this crazy trip. And, as a child, everyone's watched WrestleMania. Everyone, if you're a pro wrestling fan, everyone's heard of Mania. Everyone's probably wanted to see it, be there, whatever. Get to be there live, first show back. The energy was amazing. The fans were all like, just everything was just, you couldn't ask for a better, like, I remember people like the boys in the group chat, like, there's no way the crowd's going nuts for this person. No way this person's over. And we're like, no, it's real.
Yeah.
And just being there and getting to hear all that, get to experience it. Like, I mean, you can't beat like just being there live. And for your first time ever, it was awesome.
Oh yeah. Perch, your favorite WrestleMania?
Yeah, growing up, we got to see a couple of them ordered on pay-per-view. Went to a friend's house and he rented 18, going back to us being big Rock fans. And I love Triple H too, and he was in the main event. But to see The Rock and Hogan was incredible. We recorded it and watched it time and time again for years to come on VHS. And then I got to watch 19 as well the next year, and that had Stone Cold and Rock and phenomenal. Lesnar was great. Taker in 18 against Ric Flair was so much fun. And then Taker in 19, I think it was against A Train. Wasn't anything special, but we thought it was going to be Nathan Jones, but he got hurt. But Taker just took care of business. So we knew whoever it was going to be, Taker was just going to,
Yeah.
like watching a Moxley match. we
No matter what it
thoroughly
is, Taker gonna do his thing.
Taker going to do his thing. Absolutely loved it. But having the opportunity last year to go to WrestleMania night 2 at SoFi Stadium. I've never been in a stadium or an arena or a building quite like SoFi. It was wild. You walk in on ground level, then you walk up, and then the stadium is kind of like sunken in, but you're outside and you're also inside. It's wild. But all I know is we saw so many good matches from the Gunther and Sheamus and Drew McIntyre triple threat match to Bianca Belair against Asuka. Wow, they were telling a good story, working the different holds, the mist, and the missing of it.
Yeah.
It is a great tale being told. Snoop Dogg coming in and hosting. At one point, Shane McMahon got injured, and it was like, oh, and Snoop Dogg snaps into improv just like any pro
Yep.
wrestling show
Yep.
when all hell breaks
Hits
loose.
that people's elbow.
Doesn't matter if it's 50 people or 500 people or 80,000 people. it's pro wrestling, and when you're good at what you do, you know how to handle situations. And Snoop hits that people's elbow with that lean against
It,
the ropes. I was going nuts. That was so cool.
yeah.
I loved it. Um, I didn't realize the card for that night. All I knew was Roman and Cody was going to headline. So when they announced that Finn Balor against Edge, but it was the Demon, oh my God, I was just getting excited. One match after another, I was just pleasantly surprised. That was a great match. Finn Balor got busted open midway through. They had to staple his head, and he went another 8-10 minutes of high level endurance, hard hitting action. Yeah, Edge's entrance too to start that thing was a moment where I closed my eyes, took it in, and just kind of paused time. And then seeing the Demon was just as cool as it gets. Never gotten to see him live. Um, the main event was so cool. Roman beasting, he's larger than life. Uh, and Cody stepping up to it as a good challenger. By the time it was over, we had seen ref bump, we had seen uh, interference. I was watching it with a couple of fellow referees, uh, Ref Adam and Brett Lauderdale, a legend ref. So we were enjoying watching all the referee moves, and it was Rudy Charles, legendary TNA ref and WWE ref, and the way he handled it. He was the one guy for the entire match. It was like watching an opera. I don't know opera or what it's
But that's
about,
what
but
you imagine it is.
I'm pretty sure this wrestling match had all of it. And by the end of it, Roman stood tall, being the champion, and the entire stadium booed, and I was so happy.
It's
I put
like,
my number one in the
give me
air.
my energy. So I mean,
Oh, it was
maintain my
incredible.
youthful looks.
We all got a big group shot afterwards, and I put the one up, and everyone else did too. We were all loving it. Yeah, it was a great time. So those are my three favorite manias. 17 was so intriguing reading about it in the magazines, and anyone where Triple H took on Taker, those back to back, and then 17 as well. Um, yeah, so good, enjoyable. But 17, 18, 19 growing up were next level. Um, Triple H against Roman at 32 was phenomenal. That stretch from Rumble where Triple H won the title
Oh yeah, that
all the
definitely gonna
way
be
through
one of
was
your
great.
favorites. I'm surprised.
So that Mania going into it as a fan was as good as I've ever anticipated the WrestleMania. And I knew Roman was going to win, sure. Triple H had done the work to lead up to it, and Steph got put through a table. She cost him the championship.
Yeah,
But no, that was like the best one leading into like, oh, I
the
was
WrestleMania. That's
so
your
excited.
favorite
I love
build.
that. Yeah, favorite build. I loved it.
Nice, nice. There's like lots of good picks, you fellas, which I was sure you guys would do. So for me, uh, my favorite is going to probably be WrestleMania 20, and that's mostly going to be for how it ends. On this show, we got Eddie Guerrero beating Kurt Angle, and then we got he who shall not be named, but you got I think this is the case of separating the art from the artist. Chris Benoit beat Triple H and Shawn Michaels in the triple threat to become the champion. But the moment at the end of Eddie and Chris celebrating together will always stick out to me. Some other good things on this card: two fatal four-way tag matches for the championships that were very good. I really enjoyed just like this stretch of manias where there's a lot of multi-man tag matches to decide new champions or whatever to defend the titles. It's just a very good stretch. Tag teams were dope at this time. You get Goldberg versus Brock on this one, which at the time growing up was a dream match. We get the Victoria and Molly Holly hair versus title match. We're getting ready to go into Molly Holly's short hair Karen era. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. The logo is double X. Just big fan of 20. WrestleMania 14 is probably the most important for me, but 20 I think is probably my favorite.
I
Right.
think WrestleMania 2000 was the best video game, and 18 was just as good too. But when WrestleMania 2000 came out, I loved it. Um, but when 18 came out, X8, they had a ladder match. That one was pretty good too for GameCube. Those were the two Mania games that I loved more than anything.
So, yeah, WrestleMania 2000 definitely helped re-spark my love for wrestling, but if favorite game is going to be No Mercy. To me, it's just peak. I need a
Hmm.
re-release of that for Switch Online. But yeah, with that, why don't we talk about what you guys got coming up this weekend? I can talk about what I got coming up. I'm gonna be laying in bed. Still just gonna heal this leg up for the first week. I think next week I have a appointment to see if I can get a new brace, make sure these quads are firing the way they're supposed to, so that I can hopefully in 4 weeks be driving and be mobile. Um, but we shall see. Perch, what do you got coming up this weekend?
This weekend is GCW Midwest. Really looking forward to getting back on the road with GCW. We'll be in St. Louis on Friday night at Pop's nightclub, and we'll be in Indianapolis, Indiana on Saturday, and that'll be a great time as well. So a little St. Louis and Indiana on Fight TV for Game Changer Wrestling. That should be a blast. A lot of good people on both the shows.
Nice. And Zach, what do you got coming up this weekend?
Yeah, actually tomorrow I'll be meeting up Gunner, Chucky, CJ, and Wall. We're gonna be driving out to Harrisontown, Michigan, for City Championship Wrestling. They're hosting what they call the largest tag gauntlet ever. So preferably we'd like to do the tag gauntlet with Doc, but unfortunately it's gonna be me. Not unfortunately, I'm not trying to be mean to CJ, but like it is gonna be me and
Um,
CJ Cole,
Screw
half a cut
CJ.
here. Yeah, screw CJ. He ain't even on the podcast.
Yep.
But you're gonna have one half of greatness on the team and a quarter of peak season on the team, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I know Killer Instinct is on the card, and I know Wah Ming, he's not wrestling with Josiah, but he has a partner as well. So one of us, or all three, all of us, five of us are wrestling for an opportunity. Winner of the gauntlet gets a shot at the tag belts, and the winner between the Motor City Machine Guns and I can't think of the other tag name off the top of my head. I feel like a jerk. Oh well. But
Okay.
then Saturday, Fourth Wall Wrestling, they're having a heavyweight tournament. So I'm not a heavyweight, but I'll be there. So
We'll
don't
see
know
how it
what I'm
goes.
doing.
Yep. If they let you wrestle with the dog, we'll be fine.
Hey, I don't know if anyone saw, but I made weight. I went from 203 all the way to 249. You
Yeah.
want to talk about commitment? No, I went from losing all this weight because I was too fat to putting it all back on fair and square. So I made weight. All I'm saying is, someone pulls off that tournament, I better be the first seed.
Yep. But very nice. Looking forward to it. Yep. Can't wait to watch you guys tear it up this weekend. But with that, I think it's about time we start taking it home. So, Zach, any final thoughts or questions?
Not right now, no.
No problem. Perch, final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, R.I.P. Virgil and
Yep.
R.I.P. Ole Anderson, a couple of good wrestlers, legends in the wrestling business. Got to meet Virgil a couple times. A guy you could learn from watching for sure. And Ole Anderson, a guy who you can learn from studying. And yeah, some good people.
Oh, yeah. And for me, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the social medias. Down at the bottom, let us know what your favorite WrestleMania is. We'd love to hear about it. But with that, this has been the Take It Home Podcast. Y'all be easy. One.